Okay guys, let's start day 4 of this year's Cyber Advent 2022. So during the investigation of the downloaded GitHub repo, what we've done on the last task, Alf Recon McRed identified a URL, qa.standardsgif.shop. Yes, we did. That is probably used by all the Alfs with admin privileges to add or delete gifts on the center's website. The website has been pulled down for maintenance, and now Recon McRead is scanning the server to see how it's been compromised. And you can help McRead scan the network and find the reason for the website compromise. And today's theme is scanning. So learning objective, what is scanning, scanning type, scanning techniques, scanning tools. What is scanning? Scanning is the set of procedures for identifying live hosts, ports and services, discovering the operation system of the target system and identifying vulnerabilities and threats in the network. These scans are typically automated and give an insight into what could be exploited. Scanning reveals parts of the attack surface for attackers and allows launching targeted attacks to exploit the system. Scanning types. Passive scanning. This method involves scanning a network without directly interacting with the target device. Passive scanning is usually carried out through packet capture and analysis tools like Wireshark. However, this technique only provides basic asset information like OS version, network protocol, etc. Active scanning. Active scanning is a scanning method whereby you scan individual endpoints in an IT network to retrieve more detailed information. The active scan involves sending packets or queries directly to specific assets rather than passively collecting that data by catching it in transit or the network's traffic. Active scanning is an immediate deep scan performed on targets to get detailed information. These targets can be a single endpoint or network of endpoints. Scanning techniques. The following standard techniques are employed to scan a target system or network effectively. Network scanning. A network is usually a collection of interconnected hosts or computers. Network scanning helps to discover and map a complete network. For example, a computer in a network with an outdated once the network is mapped, an attacker executes exploits as per the target system and services discovered. Yes. Port scanning. Port scanning is a conventional method to examine open ports in a network capable of receiving and sending data. Types of services running on the host. Closed ports. The host is not listening to the specific port. Open port. The host actively accepts a connection on the specific port. Filtered ports. This indicates that the port is open. However, the host is not accepting connections or accepting connections as per certain criteria like specific source IP addresses. Vulnerability scanning. The vulnerability scanning proactively identifies the network vulnerabilities in an automated way that helps determine whether the system may be threatened or exploited. Free and paid tools are available that help to identify loopholes in a target system throughout pre-built database of vulnerabilities. Pen testers widely use tools such as Nessus and Acunetics to identify loopholes in systems. Scanning tools. Network Mapper and Map is a popular tool used to carry out port scanning, discover network protocols, identify running services, and detect operating systems on live hosts. You can learn more about the tool by visiting Rooms and Map and several other rooms. Deploy the virtual machine by clicking Start Machine at the top right of this task. This is the machine Recon McRed wants to scan. You can access the tools needed by clicking the Start Attack Box button above. Wait for the attack box to load and launch the terminal from the desktop. Type nmap in the attack box terminal. A quick summary of important nmap options is listed below. TCP SYN scan, get the list of live hosts and associated ports on the host without completing the TCP three-way handshake and making the scan a little stealthier. Alright, it is using already, so this is the output. It has OpenSSH, NetBIOS SSN, Microsoft DS, and it provides us with the MAC address. Ping scan allows scanning the live host in the network without going deeper and checking for port services, etc. Operating system scan allows scanning for a type of OS running on a live host. Detecting services, get a list of running services on a live host. Nikto is an open source software that allows scanning websites for vulnerabilities. It enables looking for subdomains, outdated servers, debug messages, etc. on a website. You can access it on AttackBox by typing Nikto host. Provides us with the IP address, target host name, target port, server. Freecon McRed ran nmap and Nikto tools against the QA server to find a list of open ports and vulnerabilities. He noticed a Samba service running. Hackers can gain access to the system through loosely protected Samba share folders that are not protected over the network. He knows that the Bandit Yeti APT got a few lists of admin usernames and passwords from QA Center's gift shop using OSINT techniques. Let's connect to the Samba service using the credentials we found through the source code OSINT task. Type the following command in the address bar and use the following username and password. Alright. So the username will be Ubuntu and the password will be Santa 2022. Oh, sorry. The password will be Santa 2022. This one should work, right? Flag user list. Alright, we're in. What is the name of the HTTP server running on the remote host? The name of the HTTP server running on the remote host. Let me see if I try my own, if I get more information. It's Apache, right? Is that what you want? Yes, okay. It's an Apache server. What is the name of the service running on port 22 on the QA server? Well, that's SSH. I know it by head. What flag can you find after successfully accessing Samba service? That should be this flag right here. What is the password for the username Center HR? I believe we can find that in this user list. Center HR, it's Center 25. Alright, if you want to learn more scanning techniques, we can have a module dedicated to Nmap. We have a module dedicated to Nmap. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this room as well. Pretty interesting room summarizing techniques of port scanning and scanning in general. So as you can see, we are getting more of a mapped view of this challenge. It looks like a pretty standard pen testing project where you start by analyzing the different frameworks. You then go into log analysis of the incident. You then use content discovery techniques such as OSINT, and now you are getting more hands-on using scanning techniques to really know the whereabouts of the network. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this one. I hope you guys have learned something new, and Merry Christmas, everyone.